Welcome to Wednesdays. What day is it? Wednesday's Market SITREP here at Top Gun Options. It's a situation report. It's my daily market SITREP. I'm Wiz. I'm the Chief Options Strategist here at Top Gun Options. My name's Matthew Buckley. Very surreal press conference from the Secretary of State today, folks. Just got done. I was watching that. Now you know why President Trump was so excited when Rex Tillerson left ExxonMobil to come and be the Secretary of State. Like he said, I ain't from here, meaning Washington, this cesspool of journalists and Democrats and Republicans and just the establishment, man. Allegedly, there was some report that came out that said, you know, he called the president in one of his meetings recently a moron, and he came out and just said that's an absolute lie. That never happened. It's a made-up story, and more to the point, I've never thought about leaving because I guess whatever, you know, typical New York Times or whatever liberal rag is out there using unnamed sources, right? You know, let's throw an allegation out there to stir the pot. Grenade, and they do. And he said, I've never considered leaving this administration. So who do we believe? Unnamed liberal rags or the Secretary of State looking into a camera? The dude was red. You can tell as a text, and that dude's furious. So now, I can see where maybe I completely believe that's a fabricated story. I can see where liberals would probably fabricate that story because they would be pissed. Over the weekend, as I briefed you in the past couple of days, the president sent a tweet. I guess he lost, well, no, how did he send a tweet? Maybe he was on his desktop. Maybe he lost his cell phone, folks, because he sends a tweet to his Secretary of State, which you think he'd pick up the phone and say, hey, man, the tweet was essentially, why are you wasting time talking to little Kim? It ain't going to work. I'll take care of this. I got it. Kind of in the military, we always said to praise in public and counsel in private. That was a little weird. So maybe that's where these reports are coming from, that the president, you know, the president's a moron. You know, what the hell. Regardless, folks, that was a pretty brutal press conference where he just excoriated more or less the media and those folks for not telling the truth. So out of the liberal media in Washington and the establishment versus Rex Tillerson, I'll take Rex 7 days a week and twice on Sunday. North Korea is still out there, folks. We had a great primary live trade brief yesterday where I covered one of the benefits of being a member here at Top Gun Options, folks, is I have a very extensive network, whether it's London, Chicago, New York, of traders and investors. But just as importantly, because every one of these pullbacks year to date has been what? Fire and fury, Mnuchin and Cohn leaving because Trump's a racist, the Comey memo, Donald Trump Jr. email. It's all been political or military. On the military side, have a lot of buddies who are smarter than me in a big five-sided building up in Washington and also in the Pacific Command, where people who I have trained how to trade options over the years are telling me, Wiz, you're putting fire right into the bullseye. Don't stop talking about it. I'm in cash. Yeah, you know, I'm 75% cash right now and 25% long puts on the S&P 500 and long vol. If those people on the tip of the spear who are not giving me, they can't. You know, we're not Hillary Clinton, folks. Okay, we actually adhere to our oath and the shit we signed, as opposed to that person. We live up to it. But when they're telling me that I'm putting bullets right in the bullseye and they keep firing, you should be sitting up and taking notice. So yesterday in the primary live trade brief, I talked ad nauseum, folks, about that, what to do with winners and what to do for October. I want to be wrong. I want October to be great. This time, literally next month, November 4th, we're going to be sitting in beautiful Lake Tahoe, maybe even after today going skiing. I might stay a couple days and check because I think they're having the earliest opening. But we're going to talk in person about this, folks. And I'd love a month from now to go, man, that was stupid. Actually isn't stupid. I wouldn't say that about myself because I believe that you need an ejection seat for October. Korea is going to come to a point sooner rather than later, and something's got to give, folks. And if it doesn't, what's the worst thing that happened? We took some money off the table, and look what happens. I'm telling you, folks, one of these is going to be the big Fred Sanford pullback. The big one, Elizabeth, here I come. Boom. And I'd rather be ready. It's like having a gun, folks. Don't even get me started about the gun stuff. We'll talk about Vegas in a second, but I'd rather reach for a gun and have one than reach for a gun and not have one. Same thing with hedges, folks. So again, we'll talk about this at 1 o'clock in Accelerated Retirement. For all the Full Throttle folks who attended last night, great first session, about an hour and a half on intelligent sources, risk management. Very, very good session. If you couldn't attend, it's posted. The replay's posted. We talked about this last night as well. Get bearish on the on MGM, win. let me, not that I have any personal experience with this, but a buddy told me. You ready? You know, what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? That's one of their taglines. Let me be brutally clear about getting bearish on the casinos. If the Wynn, the MGM, you know, Mandalay Bay, wherever you're going to stay, if going forward, they're going to be searching bags when you're checking into a hotel in Vegas, Vegas is done. It's over with. Let me let that sink in. Not that but folks, if they're searching the bags of a bachelorette or a bachelor party or a bunch of folks going out to if they're searching bags, Vegas is over. Get bearish on right now, folks. This time of the year, last metrics I looked at, they're usually at 95 to 100% occupancy total booked. They're at 85. They're down 10%. That's why you got the sheriff, the mayor, the congressman, the governor saying, "Come to Vegas, it's great." Really? Bearish on the financial or on the on these guys, folks. But we're pulling back a little bit slightly. We're essentially flat. The VIX is up. Dow's up maybe 29 points. I told you after this, we bounced off the 50-day moving average. I said cautiously bullish, neutral, cautiously bullish. I'm back to neutral. This is a rip your face, folks. We're getting hypoxic up here. This is a pretty big delta between the 50 and this moving average right here. We have a great weekly options trade on right now. We're going to talk tech in a second here. I'm going to badmouth the hell out of them. Great weekly options trade going down the fairway. That was at 155. Is the short call, and then the 152.5 is the short put. That iron condor is going right down the fairway, risking $5,200 to potentially make $3,500. So not only paying for a full throttle max membership if this iron condor works out this week, putting another $600 in your pocket. Great looking trade. Why is the market wallowing around here? Let me talk ADP number real quick. ADP is a jobs number that we care about for a day and a half. Why? Because Friday is the government number. And it's the growth. It was a little bit of a beat. What's the exact numbers? We were looking for 131, got 135. Yawn. That's an increase of 4,000 jobs. That's enough. That's, you know, the number of people on an aircraft carrier. And the previous month was revised down. What was that? August. But the growth is slowing. And where? Small business. Mr. President, with your whole tax reform plan, man, if you don't get, I own a small business, man. You better slash my taxes. Facebook, Google, all these limousine liberal piece of shit tech companies pay zero. I'm paying whatever I'm paying. You're nuts. You stick it to me, I'm done. I'm moving to the islands, man. All I need is an internet connection, or maybe down to Brazil. Small business slumping, folks. That's a canary in the coal mine. Art cash, and we talked about this. Never seen anything like today's market where the Dow just keeps going up and macro hard data starts rolling over and getting worse. Okay, folks, here we go. I'm sick of the fangs. Amazon just got smacked around by the EU, getting millions of dollars in fines leveled on it. I'm starting. Doug Cass, I briefed you on this last week, said what? Sell the fangs. I'm telling you right now, these limousine liberals, Tim Cook, I think, is an awful human being. Let me get this straight, Tim. You don't deserve a Mr. Cook. San Bernardino killer and his wife or whatever that thing was mows down Americans, kills them. Terrorist attack on U.S. soil. The FBI says, hey, man, need you to unlock this iPhone. Might be another attack. We can save lives. No. Privacy. Let that sink in. Now, when it comes to potential Russian collusion in the election, they're bending over backwards. Twitter, Facebook. Oh, my God, Russia bought $100,000 in Facebook ads. If you think $100,000 in Facebook ads allegedly bought by the Russians forced 63 million-ish Americans to go vote for Trump, you're an idiot. They're idiots if they think that. But now they found patriotism, potential meddling in our election. Do you care about the millions of illegal immigrants who got to vote? It's easier to vote than it is to get a weapon, right, folks? This is making me furious about the techs. You all know that I wear two suits at Top Gun Options. A flight suit where I'm ranting about right now with the techs and they're unpatriotic. Unless you're China, right? If you're Tim Cook, you use slave labor in China, poor children building your iPhones, and you also install software on there that the Chinese government can track everything you're doing. But when it comes to America, F you, government. So in my flight suit, I can't stand techs. In my $6,000 Armani Gordon Gekko suit, which I don't have, I'd kick my own ass if I wore something like that. It's starting to meld over to the flight suit. The techs, which have enjoyed this, they get to run around Indian country doing whatever the hell they want to and freedom and everything like that. They're about to get cracked on, whether it's the EU or the United States. Remember, folks. Our previous king, Barack Obama, used the most feared arm of our government, not the military, the IRS, and targeted political opponents. And we all know that he spied and wiretapped on those. Here's why I bring this up. These dudes, Jeff Bezos, who, when Trump was a candidate, at a conference where everybody giggled and laughed when he said this, said, Donald Trump, I'd love to put him on one of my rockets and send him into outer space and get rid of him. Ooh. And on election night, dear President-elect Trump, via a tweet, congrats and wish you the best. Here's why I bring this up, folks. The president, and the Republicans in the House and Senate, can make life miserable for these tech companies with antitrust. Oh, you want to buy X, Y, and Z, Jeff? That ain't going to happen. And people are like, oh, they can't do. Are you people stupid? Look at what Obama did, folks, with some of the arms of his government to political opponents. If you don't think Trump, who was in New York real estate, he ain't no Girl Scout, folks. So bottom line on this, we'll talk about this at 1 o'clock in the accelerated retirement session. Be careful of the text right here. We have a long call diagonal with a protective put on the XLK. Take a look at the year run. Why not take some, look at this, the XLK over a year, man. We have Jan 19, Jan 18 XLK long call diagonals that are printing money. I don't know, man. Along with my October surprise, that I hope isn't a surprise. I hope that there's zero surprise. I'm starting to. I'm rolling over on tech. I'd rather sector rotate into financials. Get me some Jamie Dimon, J.P. Morgan, and some Morgan Stanley, because this is these guys are really pissing me off. So, all right, folks, that was a ramble and a rant and in a riddle and a rhyme. All right, folks, I got to get going. I got to get ready for accelerated retirement, 1 o'clock. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. God bless, and I'll see many of my members in a little bit.